100 player is way more fun than 24 player. Doesn't matter if it's unbalanced and chaotic, unbalanced fun is greater than sanitized balance. I mean, we already get chaotic fun in normal TF2. They made a public announcement asking me to sub in at Creator Clash 3 Dane challenged you. That'd be hilarious if that was true. I'd only do it if they paid me to go. Otherwise, I'm not paying out of pocket to go fight Dane in a fucking boxing ring. This fucking hot take makes no sense. If you enjoy 100 player servers, I don't care. But anytime I have ventured into a 100 player server, it has been raw hell, and you basically cannot see what is happening. It's just unbridled raw chaos to where I just can't have fun. To me, it's not fun. This is just wrong. It's not a true take. Like 32 players is almost too much on most maps in TF2. I can't aim in normal matches, so I play the game modded game mode where I'm not required to think. I mean, you don't have to think that much when you're playing normal TF2, right? In your typical vanilla TF2 game, you don't have to think too hard to do something, but in 100 players, you just have to vomit in a general direction you're gonna hit something. And how on earth is the vanilla game sanitized? Sanitized balance? What does that even mean? If anything is sanitized, pick any competitive format. 32 player instant respawn Skyle 2 Fort servers always have the most civilized and intelligent individuals. I think some of the most interesting in-game conversations happen late at night in those 24/7 Discord 24/7 TF2 servers. Anyways, it's a very weak hot take to start with, but it's a hot take nonetheless. Air Blast is too spammable and offers little to no counterplay opportunities to the soldier, and should behave more like the Dragon's Fury Air Blast. As a soldier, you're not going to equip the shotgun and just for that one Air Blast pyro that will melt you once he realizes rockets aren't being sent in his direction. Really, just use a shotgun. Or change your shot pattern, yes, delay your shots. Like, have you ever tried baiting an Air Blast? That's all you have to do. It's not that bad. If this guy's just holding down mouse 2 at you, he's not doing any damage to you, so use a shotgun. Like, I'm sorry that gunboats and escape plan are like the meta, but just try using a gun. But really, it's just about baiting Air Blast. Like, I know I shouldn't tell someone to use another gun, but just bait his Air Blast. Once you bait it, fire away. Yeah, make it look like you're gonna fire a rocket, like snap your mouse up a little bit or move or jitter or something, like jump, because a lot of soldiers, speaking of a lot of soldiers jump when they shoot, so jump, which will bait out an Air Blast. Just do something to otherwise indicate that you might shoot, bait his Air Blast, and then fucking kill the guy. It's also not that hot of a take. I think this is a hot take. Like, we have a mixed bag of heat here in this stream. I will have to say that this is just a skill issue, I'm afraid. Like, if you're close enough to where the pyro can set you on fire, you can bait his Air Blast, shoot a rocket, and damage him before he can get off another Air Blast. And what's wrong with using a shotgun on soldier? Like, it's probably, for me, in my opinion, short of a banner, his best option. Air Blast should do damage, let's be real. That's a hot fucking take. How about no? I'm thinking Air Blast should not do damage. Again, like I've said this in some previous streams before. The only change that I think Air Blast needs is reduced knockback on Ubered players, so you just can't stuff an Uber that easily. That really does suck when the pyro can just hold down mouse 1 and completely deny an Uber, no matter who is being Ubered. It's so disorienting and really lame. Like, reduce it by 50%. And then I think that'd be a bit more appropriate. That's really the only Air Blast change. That's really the only change Air Blast needs. IMO. Next. I think if Arena had areas getting sealed off due to map-specific causes to reduce the playable area over time, it would still be played today. So you want a Battle Royale. You want a Battle Royale in TF2. But I wouldn't want gimmicks like dead people being able to shoot because I love the silent tension of 2 players chasing each other. You just want Battle Royale. That's what you want. Like, you don't want to play TF2, you just want a Battle Royale mode. Which I don't think is appropriate for TF2 at all because that just removes the team element altogether. Like, TF2 works the best when you have a respawn. And plays the best when you have a respawn. Like, I'm sorry, you don't want to play TF2. That's just me, man. You're not wanting TF2 if you want arena mode to behave like this. And like, you can make arena maps smaller, but that doesn't fix the major flaw with arena mode in that people don't like dying in the first 5 seconds and then waiting for 5 minutes for the round to end. That's not fun for anybody. Like, I don't want to sit on my ass and then wait to play again. I don't find that experience enjoyable, and I think most people would agree with that. Like, I enjoy Arena in small doses, but like after a few rounds, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? I'm just sitting here waiting to play, and then on the off chance I finally live long enough and I get to actually play the game for more than a few minutes, like I could just be playing King of the Hill or something and be playing the entire time. Thing is, I think the Ghost gimmick Arena mode's even worse. It just delays it even further. It's like, okay, cool, I can heal the guy on my team, but if he ends up being an incompetent twat, well, guess what? You're not only still sitting on your ass, but now you're obligated to heal the fucking guy. Just let it fucking end so I can play again. I just don't think TF2 is made for this kind of game mode, man. When people talk about the death of the art style, they use examples that never made it into the game like these. TF2 never looked like this because of the translation into 3D, and the art style itself has remained almost untouched since 2007. They only changed the lighting. You see, the reason why people reference these artworks is because these were made during the development phases of Team Fortress 2, when they were hammering out the general tone and style of the game itself. Of course, a 2D drawing is not gonna be translated perfectly into 3D, yeah, no shit. And then the main thing too, to say it hasn't been touched since 2007, take a screenshot of the game from 2007, juxtaposed against the screenshot from today, of like a lime green heavy with an unusual Tomislav and green hair, and tell me that the art style has not changed, or has not been treaded upon by the addition of cosmetics, and by the addition of all the other trinkets that Valve has piled on top of the game over the past 18 years. Theme and direction are part of art style. Like, if you boil down art style to how things are modeled, and like texture quality, then that's not the full picture. You're ignoring all of the other elements that go into a full and cohesive art style. Yeah, it's tone, theme, and stylization that define a game's art style, not just how something is modeled or how the lighting interacts with the world. Isn't the art style based off Norman Rockwell? So it's partially based off of like American, Americana realism, a la the 40s and 50s and 60s. Things, artists like Norman Rockwell and what have you. They're all inspired the development of TF2's art style, right? But it's not like definitively this is, a Norman Rockwell painting, right? But a huge part of TF2's development was like, okay, yeah, if you take any screenshot of the game, it will look like a painting. Like that was a deliberate decision, that any screenshot will look like a painting. Art style is a matter of repetition. How things are rendered into the universe you're talking about, putting IDK Godzilla into TF2 would have him look semi-cartoon. Still, you're ignoring the other facets of tone and theme with art style, which is then lumped into stylization. You can't put Godzilla in TF2 and go, yeah, that's in the TF2 art style. Because TF2's art style wasn't made for things like that. It wasn't made to accommodate anything and everything. It was specifically made to make this the desired scene of the mercs in this loosely fleshed out world, to give a loose sense of like, yeah, there's something going on, but we don't really know. You can't translate that onto things that the art style was not made for, if that makes sense. Yeah, and TF2's art style isn't just semi-cartoon. Like, you can't make something cartoony, put it in TF2 and go, this matches the art style. It will still stick out like a sore thumb for a good reason. So any post additions don't contribute to the art style? No, I think there's a pretty sizable chunk of post-launch additions that do very strongly adhere to the art style. But then as time went on, as we all know, we started getting more and more and more content that, deviated further and further away from the original intended direction of TF2, and, well, just went to shit. The back burner is extremely obnoxious to fight and should be reworked even if it's balanced. Full crits kill fast enough to be a pseudo backstab on light classes, and you can do it with Pyro's range, bulk, and movement, plus it punishes retreat more than rewarding flanks as designed. If you're turning your back to anyone and retreating from them, you should die. Like, you should just fucking die. Like, if you turn around and run away from somebody who's shooting at you, no matter what it is, you deserve to die in the game. Like, front towards enemy is the way to not die in Team Fortress 2. I would say that the back burner is Pyro's weakest option, because one air blast kills 25% of your fucking ammo. Like, if a Pyro manages to get close to you at all, he deserves to basically kill you. And if he gets behind you and you're not paying attention to the guy who is fully visible at base movement speed, gets all the way behind you, and he can get behind you and kill you, and not even instantly, right? With just crits. Like, I mean, that, again, I think I have to amount that to a skill issue. The backburner doesn't have any problem with crit detection. It's just a matter of how a back is defined in TF2, and that's defined by looking angles. It's dependent on the direction that they're looking and the direction that you're looking, and if it's at a certain angle, then it will count as their quote-unquote back. The backstabs work in the same way too. So it's, and also the backscatter works in the same way too, if I'm recalling correctly. They all use the looking angles to determine what is a back. I think we should stop trying to nerf Pyro all the time. I completely agree. Like, Pyro is probably the class that's the least deserving of a nerf in this game, man. He already got a lot of his more powerful options nerfed over the years. We don't need to fuck him over anymore. The backburner is fine. I don't think I've ever seen anyone complain about the backburner, ever. I think this is the first time in my entire history of Team Fortress 2 where I have seen someone unironically complain about the backburner's crits. More people complain about the fucking flog, and that thing doesn't have air blast. Backstab should be reworked the same way Pyro's fire was. Trick stabbing was a mistake. Nah, I think you made the mistake of letting the spy get too close to you. Especially if he can trick stab you. Like, okay, my favorite piece of advice, right? Spy play relies on prediction. If you think a spy is about to get a stab on you, just stop moving. For like, just half a second, just stop moving. That almost always makes them flip the fuck out. They don't know what to do. Because they're waiting for you to keep moving in a certain direction so they can get a trick stab or a face stab on you. Just stop moving. And then their brain goes, oh, they have to like recalculate, and then in that brief moment, just kill the motherfucker. Yeah, and don't nerf Spy. Spy and Pyro really don't need any nerfs other than like a couple of their unlocks. Beyond that, that's just, don't touch them. They're okay, please. Probably a big hot take here, but TF2 would be a better game overall if Valve never introduced microtransactions into the game. Not only would we have gotten the shit cosmetics in recent years, the game would run better overall. Would the game be better overall if Valve never attempted to monetize it? I don't know, I feel like you could fight over this, you know? Let's rework the question, let's reframe it a little bit. Would the game still be nearly as alive today if the game had not gone free to play and it didn't have microtransactions? I don't think so at all. I think it would have died many years ago if it didn't go free to play. It would be nowhere near as active. But would it be a better game overall if it had never done that? See, I think I disagree. So, vanilla TF2. No unlocks, no hats, nothing. Just the vanilla game. With the vanilla maps is fucking amazing. I love it. If you've never played just vanilla TF2 with no unlocks, with none of that shit, it is a fucking amazing experience. But then you have the other weapons they introduced, and the earlier waves of them. The earlier waves. I'm not saying all of them, but the earlier waves of weapons did add some cool spice. They are fun. I love the Blutsauger, I like the Kritzkrieg, I like the Ubersaw, I like the Brass Beast, Tomislav, Force of Nature, all of these things are very fun, right? The problem is that Valve made you pay for them. They were either achievement-based, or you had to pay for them outright, and that's bullshit. But the nature of them doing that, and the reason why they continued adding more weapons, was because they wanted to get money off of them. And we have to think about what happened, right? We have to think about what happened and not how things could have been, right? We have to stick with the real timeline here. If Valve never pushed microtransactions, we likely wouldn't have seen many of the cool weapons that are fun and well-balanced that we all still use today. Many of those likely would not have made it into the game because then Valve wouldn't have been able to make people pay money for them. It's like, I feel like, you know, 2008, 2009, those first couple waves of items, right, before 2010 when they added the economy, Valve was adding these weapons in to get players more invested in the game, to keep them playing for longer, to get them more addicted to it. So then when they eventually got the unlocks from the achievements, then like, oh shit, I have this new weapon, I now own something. And now because I own something, I'm more committed to sticking around. But then when the game went free to play, they had to really ramp up the investment level, and that's why they introduced gambling. Because not only is it addictive, but once you spend money on something and own an item, now you are invested in the game before you even play it. And that's where things, you know, like, I'm not condoning the gambling or anything like that, that all fucking sucks. The game would have been fine without it. But because Valve took the monetization path they did, we got a lot of the weapons that we have now that are genuinely fun and entertaining to use, and do positively contribute to the game. There are some that don't, many of them being the promo items that we probably could live without, things like the sun on a stick, the fucking short circuit, what else? We really don't need the Machina. It is fun, don't get me wrong, I love the Machina, but we don't really need it, you know what I mean? We could go without a lot of the promo items that were really put in the... Vitasaw is another one that fucking sucks. Fuck you, I love the third degree. But you see what I mean here? That's my point, is that there are a lot of these weapons and items that people genuinely enjoy that do make the gameplay, the actual gameplay, more engaging and fun for them that would have never come about if Valve, or I should say, that would have likely never come about if Valve didn't go down the microtransaction path that they did. So I disagree with this take, that it would have been a better game overall if they had never introduced microtransactions, because then we likely would have never gotten many of the weapons that we did. This is not me condoning the way they did the microtransactions. Like, any weapon that is functionally unique in TF2, you should not have to buy, sell, or trade for it, or get an achievement in order to have access to it. You should just have all of these weapons and items be freely available to you as part of your normal inventory. Like, you should not have to pay for these things to use them. They should be available to you outright. Full stop. So I'm not condoning Valve basically tricking new players into spending money on these weapons, right? Because the one point that Solarlight brought up in that big video that I fully agree with, and something that Valve is very shitty for doing, is they knew players do this. They know players do this. New players still do this. Where you have a new player that comes into the game, they likely saw a YouTube video or a meme of someone using a non-stock weapon, right? They're like, oh shit, I want to go play TF2, that looks fun. But then they come into the game and go, oh, I don't have this weapon, how do I get it? But they're not familiar with TF2, they don't know anything about trading, they don't know anything about achievement items. They say, fuck it, there's a store, I'm just gonna buy the fucker. I'm gonna spend $5 and get the class pack and get all the weapons, boom, there's $5 to Valve right there. And that is a very intentional and insidious microtransaction process to trick new players into getting all these unlockable weapons that are functionally unique and give more money to Valve. It's fucked up. It should not be that way. So I'm not condoning that. But again, if that had never happened, we wouldn't have a lot of the weapons we have today that are fun and add to the game. And then the gambling, of course, fucking sucks too. I'm not condoning that either. The game would have been fine without the gambling. And something else too, I mean, like, I really wish we had better statistics on this. And of course, Valve will never release statistics on their players or what have you, or people that are in the game and actually playing the game. I would love to know how many people are actually playing Counter-Strike at any given moment and aren't either botting for cases or gambling in the game. Because it seems like the overwhelming majority of content I see about Counter-Strike is about the gambling, and is about the items, and not the game itself. And the main reason why Counter-Strike is so popular, other than esports, is the gambling. Valve tried to get TF2 into that same position, and in a way it still is, where the only life that we get in TF2 are community content dumps we receive 3 times a year that people pay for, other than the maps. So TF2's in that same spot where that's all people fucking care about and talk about is the new content we get dumped in our laps 3 times a year. And other than the maps, it's not the gameplay itself. It has nothing to do with the gameplay. And even then, a lot of the maps fucking suck and are not good for the gameplay and just go fucking ignored and people play Upward for the 30th time. Well, no, yeah, that's my point, is monetization keeps players invested in their accounts, right? Because if a game is free, there's nothing keeping you here. Nothing. You download the game, you play it, you don't like it, you fucking leave. And the sooner, the quicker, that Valve gets the player invested in the game by microtransactions, then the more likely they're gonna stick around. It's like, ah shit, I spent money on this, I now own something in this game. And in a sense, the item drop system does that automatically too, right? It does it for free, where you're playing the game and then the game gives you this item or a hat for free. It's like, oh shit, I own this. Now you own something, the hooks are in, the claws are in, you will stay. You'll stay in the game. We have got you by the balls. And then you stick around and play for 15 fucking years like I have. No, that's my point, is you don't own anything, and like, you don't own the games that you bought on Steam. You bought a license to access them, and all of the items that you own in Team Fortress 2, they aren't actually real, right? These are on some dank server network in a basement somewhere, and at any time, Valve could just turn these off. Like Valve, like I put this in my Meet Your Match video, there's like a clear disclaimer where like Valve's like, yeah, you don't really own anything. Yeah, no way, no. What do you mean I don't own the shit that I own and that I digitally access? And I don't have a, where's my fucking copy of TF2? My physical copy of PC TF2 is floating around here somewhere. Like, what do you mean I don't own this? I can't, like, if you can't touch it, you don't own it. Right? Like, if you can't fucking smell it, lick it, touch it, fuck it, you don't own it. It's not real. I own this cup. This cup is real, I own this. The game was more enjoyable with bots since community servers were more active. Honestly, I have to agree, because casual mode sucks. I have to agree only because casual mode sucks. I know it's a hot take, but casual mode is fucking misery. And there were so many fucking just vanilla community servers that were populated during the bot crisis that I could consistently go to get away, and I'm like, man, now I can actually play the game that was meant to be from launch, right? Like don't get me wrong, casual mode getting raped by bots for a fucking decade, that sucks. Like that shouldn't have been happening, but it did revitalize community servers a lot. And as soon as the bots left, guess what happened? A lot of populated community servers just died again. And that's just like the perfect example. That is the perfect example of why Meet Your Match was so horrible for Team Fortress 2, is that this just proves consistently that players will not all of them, but most players will always take the path of least resistance. Why bother searching for a good community server when the big dumb play now button does all of the work for you? And you don't even need to be exposed to the existence of community servers through casual mode, right? Whereas with quick play, when you opened up quick play and all the options there, you were still being indirectly exposed to the option for community servers, and because all of Valve's servers were visible in the server browser, you were also indirectly exposed to community servers. So there were multiple pathways by which people could also populate community servers, and then Valve took those out in favor of casual mode, which not only killed community servers, but offers a horrifically inferior way of playing the fucking game, because it's literally broken. Go watch that section of my video to understand why. So whenever there's a fucking vanilla community server or something close to vanilla that I can play on, I'm gonna go there. Because that's TF2. 45-minute round timers. No fucking best of 3 system. No fucking matchmaking system ensuring that the team I'm fighting is half empty the entire time because it's reserving slots for players that aren't even in the fucking server yet. Functioning auto balance, team scrambles, where I just have these nice long periods of uninterrupted playtime without all of the bullshit downtime of having to constantly re-queue for a game that lasts more than 2 goddamn minutes. Go play on my servers, by the way. ZestyJesus.com, go play on my servers. Guess what we do? We run the fucking quick play vanilla rule set, where you have these long periods of uninterrupted playtime. You don't have to deal with the bullshit of casual mode, go play there. Because you just have fun. You don't have to fucking deal with the bullshit of casual mode. Does scramble or auto balance work most of the time? Yes, it does. Yeah, team scrambles work very well. Okay, so here's a brief outline of this, right? So, one of the big fucking flaws with casual mode, right? Like the only way a matchmaking system works, right? The only way a skill-based matchmaking system works, quote unquote, is if teams don't change, and then the skill brackets actually do their job. But as soon as you let people come and go from a server as they please, the entire purpose of a skill-based matchmaking system goes out the fucking window. These teams are no longer balanced. Almost immediately, right? And so with quick play, when players would come into a server, they would be first presented with the team selection screen, which divvied up players between red and blue at random. So skill was effectively distributed at random, which still happens in casual mode, by nature of people coming and going as they please, and by nature of the skill-based matchmaking system never fucking working. It has never set up a balanced game, ever, since its inception, and in the rare, random instance that it does, sorry, you get that for one fucking game before the server resets and everyone leaves. So have fun getting another game like that in casual mode consistently. But the reason why scrambles work so well is when that discrepancy in skill between teams is too large, instead of gutting the server and bringing in a fresh set of players and hoping that they're balanced, instead, we'll just shuffle everybody around and create what are effectively new teams with a smaller skill discrepancy, and then you just get a brand new game, and 9 times out of 10, the scrambled teams lead to a more balanced game that lasts for longer periods of time and plays out to completion over a longer period of time, which is just more fun, because TF2 plays the best, right? No matter what system you use. Skill-based matchmaking, scrambles, what have you, you are never going to get perfectly balanced teams, otherwise there's never going to be a winner. It's going to end in a stalemate, right? There always has to be some minor skill discrepancy between the teams in order for a game to play out to completion. And when that discrepancy is minimized and games play out over longer periods of time to that completion, that's when people have the most fun. No one likes a stomp. Stomps fucking suck. No one enjoys coming in and playing game for 2 goddamn minutes and then the round ending and everyone fucking leaving. That fucking blows, and if you say you like that, you're goddamn lying. Through your fucking teeth, alright? That's when TF2 is the most fun, and that's why scrambles work, because in the event of a fucking stomp, you're not suddenly having to re-queue for a whole other game. Instantly, no one has to leave, the teams automatically get reformed into new teams, boom, bing, bash, bosh, you're done, you get to play the game again without fucking interruption. It works so well, and it worked beautifully for 8 fucking years. Scrambles and auto balance worked well for 8 fucking years, and Valve's like, nah, fuck you. Casual mode. I miss my quick play and community versus Saxon Hail and Randomizer and Time 10 and Minecraft servers, Zesty. I miss them so much. You can thank Valve for killing all of your favorite servers. This is the most fucked up part. This is the most fucked up part about that, Ran. Is that a lot of the incentive for doing projects at Valve is because they have a bonus incentive, like a monetary bonus at the end of a project. That's where most of the gusto comes from when it comes to working on something for Team Fortress 2. Or anything in Valve, right? And you'll notice that anything major, any major change in TF2 happened around summertime. Game went free to play, around summertime. TF2 got its microeconomy, September, around summertime. Gunmetal and Tough Break come out, that was around summertime where they try to rebrand TF2 as CSGO. Meet Your Match, summertime. Jungle Inferno was originally meant to come out in the summer but had to get delayed to October because it wasn't working yet. Summertime, 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 summertime. And there are bonus cycles, annual bonus cycles in Valve, and it seems like whenever they push a new project, yeah, Man vs. Machine Pyromania, summer. Again, they probably line these things up too for summer break when most people play video games too. But that's also likely when they have these bonuses or around the same time too, where Valve is consistently releasing, this is like some crazy crackpot conspiracy shit, but if you read that TXT I put in my Discord, it makes more sense. Where like it seems like Valve consistently puts out these major sweeping changes or massive new like projects or add-ons into their games around summertime to maximize their probability of getting a bonus because they worked on the brand new shiny tool or the brand new shiny thing so they can show it off and go, look, I did this thing, and then they get a bonus. And so it's very likely that fucking Meet Your Match was only done so whoever was working on it as a team would get a bonus at Valve, and that's why it was rushed and developed mostly within the span of 1 fucking year. Right? Because when they met with competitive players in like mid to late 2015, that's when they had a working version of their competitive matchmaking. And then about a year later, all that came out. So it's very likely that Meet Your Match was done for a bonus incentive and they could then present that to their higher-ups like, we're making TF2 the next esport. And then like all the higher-ups, like the corporate arm is gonna look at that and go, whoa, yeah, another big esport. That means more money for us. It's gonna be like Counter-Strike and Dota. They don't fucking know this shit. They're fucking corporate higher-ups. They don't know how this shit works. They don't understand these games. They just look at this shit from a surface level and go, man, big esport means more dollars. You, sir, get a fucking bonus. And then they launched it, they rushed it to meet the deadline for bonus season, and it was a shit show. Nothing fucking worked. They didn't listen to any of their fucking player feedback because they had to rush it out. And there was also obviously pressure from things like Overwatch, which probably further incentivized and made it more valuable in the corporate arm's eyes, where they were viewing this is so, like, the more I think about this, the more fucked up it gets. Like, they were probably viewing Overwatch as a genuine threat and competition to their company and to their games, right? And they're like, man, we have this game already with heroes. Like, people love the soldier. It's like the pharaoh lady with rockets and tits. Let's do that for TF2 too. And like the higher ups are like, yeah, we can compete with Overwatch. That's great. Bonus for you, sir. And then they squirted out Meet Your Match. And then they fucked the game. And then they just left it that way. They slowly piddled out some fixes over the course of a few months and then they just left it that way because it was no longer valuable. It was no longer valuable to work on Team Fortress 2. There's no longer bonus incentives involved. So they went to Half-Life Alyx. So they started making Deadlock and left TF2 to rot. And the only work they've performed on TF2 is maintenance level so they can avoid bad press. Consistently to avoid bad press. Muting free-to-plays, avoiding bad press. Fixing bots, people were getting pissed off twice, avoid bad press, get a fucking contractor to fix that. Not an employee, a fucking contractor. In their eyes, in what they view contractors as, they view them as subhumans. I shit you not. Again, go read that fucking document. They view contractors as fucking subhumans. Not even full employees. They treat them like secondhand citizens. So fuck it, get a contractor on that, bully him into fixing the fucking game, done. This sucks. I hate Valve, and you can't hate Valve enough. Fuck. Like, all of the fucking threads started connecting into my head. Like, I couldn't sleep a few nights ago after I read this document, because this was just so eye-opening. Like, this is really where all of this shit came from. Like, this is why TF2 is the way it is, and why Meet Your Match was such a shit show. It's because they were rushing this shit out so they could get a fucking bonus. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing, you know? They viewed their other games as esports. It's like, yeah, this is a good idea. And oh, look, we have this very vocal group in the TF2 sphere that is competitive players. Look, they want this. And then we put the beta public. Look, all these people are excited for it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then they fucked it. Clip that and make that a GIF. Someone will make that a GIF of me bouncing up and down in my chair. I know it's gonna happen because people make fucking GIFs of my face all the time. Here, I'll do it again. Make the fucking, yeah. Just do that. There's my soy rail. Hold on. I need to fuck up my hair a little bit. You know, like, do this real quick. Like, really fuck up my hair and get my glasses on. And I'll, like, I'm just like, yeah. There you go. There's your soy rage GIF for you. There you go. Now you can clip that and go crazy. Where do you find this document? Join my Discord, linked in the description below. It is in the channel Other Announcements. It's the first message in it that you're gonna see. That is a thread of tweets from a former Valve employee describing the internal structure of how things work. It is an eye-opening, fascinating read that really just reveals that Valve is basically no better than any other game company. And anytime, if you ever come across someone who references Valve's flat structure as this beautiful thing, as this wonderful thing, point them in the direction of that document and go, no, this actually really harms game development and creates a horrifically toxic work environment, and that's why nothing gets done. And of course, like, and let me be clear, right? That's not the full picture. Like, this is just another new part of this that I really began to fully understand. Like, there's absolutely other nuances and pieces that we're never gonna fully understand because we weren't there, right? We weren't at Valve. We have no idea what they were discussing. We just don't, we have so much missing information, right? But this is just another piece of the puzzle to why the game ended up in this awful situation. Class limit for the support classes is a must in casual mode. I'm tired of having to re-queue a match because one of our 4 spies and snipers refuses to pick something else. Also, not a big fan of free-to-play medics and their inability to heal or Uber people when needed. No. TF2's core facet of gameplay is being able to play whatever the fuck you want, however you want, whenever you want. Class limits are purely antithetical to TF2's design and should never be incorporated in any fashion. And any servers that do this, Uncletopia, are fucking awful and are not fun. Fuck you, I wanna be the 5th heavy. Fuck you, I wanna be the 5th huntsman sniper. It's fun. I don't care if I lose. The game's not about winning and losing, it's about having fun. And if I want to have fun by playing the 5th Huntsman Sniper, you goddamn best believe I'm gonna do it. The free-to-play medics thing is of no consequence because it's just, this is a new player, they're learning. You can't do much about that. That's just a non-issue. What if I want to stack 10 heavies on the cart? What if I want 12? What if 12 spies is fun? Have y'all never done it? Like, I feel like that just rarely happens anymore. This used to happen way more often before Meet Your Match, where people would like, yeah, everyone go spy, and then everyone would just go spy, and it was fun. Or everyone go battle medic, and everyone would just go battle medic, and just spam syringes and lag the server. It was so fun when that shit would just happen at random, naturally, organically, inside of a Valve server. It still happens sometimes, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't happen nearly as frequently, where people try to like coordinate and do dumb bullshit strategies. Ugh. It's so fun. Please don't even begin to imply that it's a good idea to remove this. Could there be a suggestion the game will give out if a team is unbalanced in any way to guide new players? No. That's like Overwatch pressuring someone to play something else because it's hurting their team balance. Well, it looks like your team doesn't have a medic. Maybe you should go play medic. No, fuck you, I'm playing spy. Demo and Soldier take so little skill and are so powerful that they trick bad players into thinking they are good at the game with decent health pools, insane mobility, splash damage, high single target damage, and more bonuses, healing resistance, ammo pools. Demo and Soldier are both overpowered and crutch classes. Bonus, rocket launchers are just stronger versions of the Scorch Shot. They deserve more hate. I feel like this person doesn't remember their first time playing Demo Man or their first time playing Soldier and not landing a single shot at all because their weapons are not hit scan. We've all been there. Your first time playing Demo Man, you're not hitting shit. To say that neither of these classes takes skill, it's a bit of a hot take. It is. It's nuts. And to hit each thing here with insane mobility, the only way you get that is by taking off chunks of your large health pool or sacrificing a damage dealer to get that mobility, your primary damage dealer to get that mobility in the form of jumper weapons, saying that because you have high single target damage, that's applicable to, say, Scout and Sniper and Spy, but no, we'll just ignore those. Other classes have healing resistances and large ammo pools, so that's irrelevant. Stickies are too generous, but the rest of the kits are balanced. See, the thing is, stickies are only generous when you're spamming them into a choke with a whole bunch of players. If you're in a slightly open area, you have to be really mindful of where you're putting down your stickies so you can more readily combo them with your pipes, and also have it to like not only maximize damage output, but also maximize your area denial, so you're not gonna get fucked by someone getting too close to you. And then again, it's like as soon as you close the distance on Demo, he's fucked. In order to deal damage to you, he has to take damage to himself, and also take damage from you, which only speeds up his death, right? Demo Man is very easy to counter. Soldier, you know, if you're hitting anything other than directs at anything other than close range, you're not doing that much damage, right? Of course he gets reduced self-damage, but you still lose a lot of health when you hit someone next to you with a pipe. It's a lot of fucking health. Like, I feel like a lot of these complaints translate over to the Scout. Insane mobility, insanely high single target damage, you know, pain in the ass to fucking hit. Therefore, Scout is a crutch class. Now, to say, but also Demo and Soldier are so easily shut down in various ways where it's like they're not that much of an issue. They aren't an issue. All mercs except Spy are OP and should be banned. If the game was only spies, someone make a server like that, where you can only play Spy and nothing else. Demo Knight's sword and shield-wise was a good addition, as it means Demo has better resistances and ground mobility, and melees are a lot more useful as tools than just last resort options. But this all comes at the cost of sacrificing your best damage dealer, the sticky bomb launcher, and being more reliant on only aiming your pipes. Where Valve went wrong was the addition of booties, since it results in full Demo Knights that completely created a 10th class in a game that was meant for 9. I agree. Plus, many times a full Demo Knight can usually be a hindrance, as what could have been someone setting up traps or taking down sentries can now only take on one target at a time and can't do anything against anything else. Demo Knight is fun, right? Demo Knight's fine, that's okay, whatever. But this is just true. Where the game was not designed for full Demo Knight, and this quote-unquote 10th class, where it's melee only, in a first-person shooter, the classes were not designed around his presence. That's why he tends to have what some people, Solar Light, tend to think of as bullshit matchups, as rock, paper, scissors. Like, yeah, if you put the guy that has no guns against the pyro, he's just gonna push you away. No shit. The other 9 classes should not be reworked or nerfed to accommodate the 10th class that was never meant to be there in the first place. And to that effect, Demo Knight exists relatively really fucking well in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, the game was not designed for his presence, but despite that, he still fits in relatively well. Like, he's still viable in some instances and is playable in your usual game. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. We're a game where these 9 classes had a lot of time in the oven, where the developers were very meticulously planning out the game balance in order for all these things to mesh together. And then Valve's like, fuck it, let's throw in a melee-only Juggernaut. Let's see how that goes. And it went kind of okay. And yeah, he does suck to fight against with the Islander. The Islander is just, it's way too strong. I think it needs to be nerfed somehow because his health pools get too big, being able to move faster than a scout. The basic baby bitch playstyle that facilitates is fucking aggravating. Natasha. Or Heavy. Yeah, Heavy evaporates Demo Knight, so there's also no need for the Natasha, no matter the gun. You're just correct on that too. Am I aware of TF2's fan game Typical Colors 2? Yes, I am. That is the Roblox version. That is the Roblox version. I played Roblox for the very first time in my life a few weeks ago because there's the Blue Archive fan game that someone recommended that I try, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Roblox is scary. I can't believe they let kids play this game. It's kind of insane that just they let children go in there. And like I walk into this server, there's no, you just walk in, and then here's like this, like there was someone dressed up as what looked like a porn character. Like they had tits and a thong and underwear, and I'm like, kids play this game. Huh? It was decently entertaining, but it just didn't really feel that good to play. Like, TF2 has spoiled me with its gunplay. Like, TF2's gunplay is so good that when I go over and play anything else, it's just not the same and it doesn't hook me. Like, because all of TF2's guns are so satisfying to use and feel so good to shoot that when I go play another game that has guns, voice crack, when I go play another game that has guns, it's like, I'm not enthralled to stick around. The melee combat's even worse. The hit reg in Roblox is terrible. I mean, yeah, like the game was not meant to handle that. It's amazing that people can make all these other games within Roblox. It's wild, it's cool, but it's very janky. Only reason why Roblox is still relevant is just for the kids and nostalgia. I feel like the biggest market for Roblox is children. Because the only people I see playing Roblox outside of very niche groups, like the Blue Archive game, are children. Mostly, from what I've seen, or very young people play Roblox. And anytime I hear about Roblox in the news, it's always some controversy about how a child was abducted by someone they met through Roblox. Dude, I talked about this on stream, man. I talked about this on stream, but it's worth talking about again. Where I went to Best Buy to get this fucking keyboard, because my old one stopped working. And while I'm at Best Buy looking at my very limited options, there was a father and son browsing the peripherals aisle. And the son is wanting to get a brand new headset. And then he picks up one, and he shows his dad, like, I want this one. He looks at it like, son, why do you want a microphone? He's like, oh, so I can talk to people in the video game. And he's like, I don't want you talking to people on the internet. He just said that. I'm like, oh, thank God, some parents with some fucking common sense, man. It made me so happy. It made me so happy to hear that some parents would like actually want their children to be careful online. Oh, it was a breath of fresh. I wanted to like turn around and like give him a nod, you know, but I'm like, let's not do that. It might come off as weird. But it's like that is a very the dad was around my age, you know. It was probably like a 10-year-old kid. The father was probably in his early 30s, roughly. He looked younger than me. I have fucking gray hair now. You can't see it, but I'm getting gray hair. I looked in the mirror, I have gray fucking hair on my head. Fuck, I'm old. When people my age are having kids and buying their sons headsets at Best Buy. 25 and I have so much gray hair, it's wild already. And listen, at least I'll get the salt and pepper look, right? I'll get the salt and pepper look going. I know chicks like that, it makes you look older and more mature. So, I'll rock the salt and pepper look, and get that going, you know. As I get more jacked, then the 40 will be my year. 40's gonna be my year. Engineer is significantly more unfun to fight against and unbalanced than Sniper could ever be. Also, offensive Engineer isn't fun, it's literally ruining the other team's fun on purpose. Infinitely more things shut down an Engineer than a Sniper. It's like, all it takes is one little thing and the entire Engineer's nest and presence just fucking crumbles. And then offensive Engineer, say on like payload, usually amounts to being a teleport bitch. You're being a teleporter bitch. You're putting down your teleporters and your dispensers to keep your team moving forward, and that only works when the game is moving slow enough for the Engineer to do something. Yeah, and you're right, the Engineer is almost always 100% reliant on his team in order to be effective. And even with the presence of a team that at least loosely acknowledges his presence and kind of protects him, or even just plays around him, he's still really easy to shut down. Engineer becomes annoying, mostly due to maps and Engineer stacking and a couple of his unlocks like the Short Circuit and the Wrangler. The Wrangler is a huge problem in a lot of these Engineer situations, right? The Wrangler needs to be fucking removed or nerfed somehow. But other than that, Engineer is not a problem. I don't think he's that unfun to fight against. Like, whenever I have an Engineer causing me problems, lock and load, 2 shots, dead, done, or direct hit, 2 shots, dead, done, gone, and that's all I have to worry about. The lock and load's very good and very fun. I made a video about it years ago, don't watch it, it's really, oh fuck, I had someone inquiring about my old videos, like, I should go watch your old videos. I'm like, I begged them, please don't do that. Please, God, don't watch my old videos. Please don't, they're so bad. Oh, the Everything Spy Can Do Sniper Does Better song has ruined the balance discussion for both sides. It was originally meant for 6v6 competitive where Sniper clearly outclasses Spy due to the lower team sizes and maps being played. I feel like that's just not true. However, people have taken it the wrong way and applied the logic to vanilla TF2 where Sniper and Spy serve 2 fundamentally different roles. I haven't watched that video in a very long time, but I just don't think that's true. I don't think that's, was that song in reference to 6v6? Oh yeah, you're right, I can just watch it, duh.
Anything Spy can do, Sniper does better. Sniper does everything better than Spy.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
I mean, listening to the song in a vacuum, it does loosely apply to the vanilla game, kind of. If it is referencing 6v6, both Spy and Sniper are fucking useless in 6v6, other than very specific scenarios where they have to get a pick on somebody. And they usually do pick Sniper because he doesn't die immediately after missing his shot. He can just try again and go to like get a medic pick or something. Spy plays are far more rare because it's a way higher risk for potentially not that high of a reward. So Spy is basically never used in 6's play because he's just way too squishy. And again, the trade-off for like, oh yeah, maybe the Spy might pick the demo or maybe might pick the medic, but if he fucking fails his stab, he just fucking dies. And then they're down a player and then they get pushed and lose. There's a reason why Spy fucking blows in 6v6. It's why any pick class fucking blows in 6v6. Be it Spy, Sniper, Demo Knight, what have you. It's not viable in their format. It's a reference to 6's comp. It's talking about generalists and specialists. The whole generalist and specialist thing, that, if anything, has really poisoned balance discussion alongside this, I suppose, when it comes to the vanilla game. Because, like, that is balance discussion for competitive 6v6, a game mode that is not the vanilla fucking game, and it's completely different balance than the vanilla game. That is not something that can be translated over to the vanilla game. I hate that shit. Spy gets hard countered by so much, which sucks, yes. Spy also has to go in the melee. Yeah, but yeah, that's my point. Is like Spy has way higher risk for way lower reward, you know? And then this guy says, there you go, applying this onto the vanilla game has hurt balance. But when it comes to the Spy versus Sniper thing, not so much. The generalist and specialist thing, yes, but I still think the song is relatively applicable onto the vanilla game. Because if you're trying your absolute hardest and you want to kill someone in a one tap, you're gonna play Sniper. It's a basic bitch class, you know? You fucking headshot somebody, you're not even having to directly interact with them and you're gonna fucking kill them, right? Or any competitive format. It doesn't matter if it's 6v6 or not, it doesn't fucking matter. But Spy is still fun, so people play him. Spy has some of the most mechanical issues like outlines and particles. The fucking outlines they added in for competitive play support are fucking bullshit. They just should have never done that. Like one of the dumbest things Valve ever did, and is a clear sign they just whoever was working on the game wasn't thinking about the game. We're like, yeah, let's put player outlines that fuck over one of the classes that relies on not being seen. Good idea. The Scorch Shot and the Flare Gun should have never been added. They give Pyro the ability to remove 50% health off of any class from pretty much any range within microseconds. I'm not saying they should have given him a pistol or something, but this was not the way to go about it. If you had not put the Flare Gun in there, then I would have been more on your side, but you put the fucking Flare Gun in there. Have you ever tried comboing with the Flare Gun? Have you ever tried consistently landing shots with the Flare Gun and killing people with it? That's kind of fucking hard. And to remove half the fucking health of somebody with the Flare Gun is pretty hard because all that damage doesn't happen instantly. If they have a medic, or if they're near a health kit or a dispenser, that Flare Gun shot's not gonna do shit. The Scorch Shot, however, is fucking annoying, and a single shot from a Flare Gun, a single shot from a Scorch Shot does remove a shitload of health very quickly, as opposed to the Flare Gun, which requires the player to be on fire first to get the crit, assuming you can get the direct hit. To say the Flare Gun should have never been added is insanity. It's probably one of the most well-balanced and best designed unlocks in Team Fortress 2, if not the best designed unlock in Team Fortress 2. Like seriously, name a more well-balanced unlock than the fucking Flare Gun. Maybe the direct hit, maybe the Force of Nature. Like you could probably make something of a reasonable argument for most of the ones I've seen in chat. But the Flare Gun, I just cannot see anything potentially wrong or broken about it. Because if your gripe is that it removes half the health from someone at a distance, have you used the shotgun and dealt a 60 damage shot at mid-range and removed half the health off a scout? And also the firing rate on a shotgun is gonna do way more damage than one flare if you're landing your hits. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. So, yeah, I think that's a spicy one. A very spicy one, in my opinion. Also, it's also fun and popular. People hate fun. True, people honestly don't like fun anymore. Fun is dead. Fun has died many years ago. When did fun die? 2009. When Bionicle ended. That's when fun died. Nothing has ever been fun again after that point. It's all been grasping at the concept of fun, but nothing quite gets there. It's a joke, guys, come on, relax. I'm in favor for in-game moderation regarding text chat, name tags, description tags, etc. I'm sick of seeing a colorful variety of racial slurs, dog whistles, and other ill Nazi shit in this game. You're not 15 anymore, it's time to grow up, mute them. You have the tools to turn off the people you don't want to see. The game ships, by default, turned on, by default, word filters. So you don't see bad words, or even bad phrases, or even bad concepts. If you're seeing these things, you went out of your way to manually turn them on. And now you can't even complain about decals anymore. You can just turn them off. And then this goes back to that video I made about decal moderation and moderation in general, is that anytime someone asks for moderation in a video game that has none, they believe that said moderation will be exactingly tailored to their specific liking, when in reality, the moderation that's going to be implemented is just going to be a fucking blanket sweep shutting down of whatever the feature is. Or an overly sensitive form of moderation that doesn't require any kind of maintenance or upkeep in order to keep it functional. It'll just be a fucking nuke, they're gonna turn it off, whatever's the easiest for the company to fucking do, and then they're gonna leave it at that. They believe the moderation will be exactingly tailored to their own sensitivities, when that's just never going to happen. I keep slurs and colorful words off, it's funnier to see censors than some guy going off. No, I like seeing them. I think it's funny. Some guy just fucking raging and saying those, like, the most awful shit. Ugh, that is the classic TF2 experience. It is. But no, horrible take. You have all of the tools to turn things off you don't want to see in TF2, so just turn them off. And just leave it at that. Simple. Graveyard sucks, and apparently that's a hot take. No, the Jimster at Jimster's Revenge said on April 17th, Graveyard does indeed suck, and I do not like it. I picked this one in defense of this not being a hot take. This is the Halloween version of Arena Lumberyard, where you fly around as the healing ghosts. It's fun for about 2 seconds, and then it's not fun anymore. Yeah, cool mechanic, bad mode for TF2. I completely agree. Really neat mechanic, but it's just, there's a reason why arena mode was removed, probably because it would not fit with casual matchmaking, but also it was the least popular game mode because people don't like sitting around and waiting to play the game. That's why on my TF2 server, we run King of the Hill Lumberyard, which is actually quite fun. Highly recommend it. Go try it out. TF2 servers. zestyjesus.com/servers. Go play. Vanilla servers. We run the quick play rule set. 45-minute map timers, team scrambles, functioning auto balance, vote scrambles, map votes, everything you could ever need for the true, quintessential, genuine TF2 experience. Go play it. Shameless plug. North American and EU servers. 2 of them, 2 each. Here's a fucking crazy one. Health packs in any hero shooter or class-based shooter are a terrible mechanic. I feel like TF2 didn't kickstart it, but it definitely popularized it. Health packs are a horrible way of balancing healing in-game. They have you running around like a headless chicken just to heal some modest amount of health, and if anyone gets it to you before you, you're gonna have to wait like if you're not mobile enough to find a dispenser, medic, or the spawn again quicker. And worst of all, they fuck up 1v1s all the time. You may have dominated your rival fair and square only for them to stumble upon a health pack accidentally or knowingly and immediately putting the fight in their favor just because of the spot you were fighting on. Self-healing is a much better mechanic, IMO, the most modern games are turning into. Holy horrible. This is a team-based territory control first-person shooter. Health packs define areas of priority. You want to defend these areas because they have valuable resources for you and your team, right? If it's taking you so long to kill someone that they manage to find a fucking health pack, oh my god. Yeah, self-healing is way worse, I completely agree. The thing about health packs is they usually define areas of importance for you and your team to defend. And also, in a lot of places on TF2 maps, you have to really go out of your way and remove yourself from the areas where the fights are taking place in order to get those health packs, right? They help stagger the gameplay, and I don't see how they create any kind of unfair scenario. No, not the sandwich. Sandwich is well balanced in that it's slow, and a heavy is very easily caught out when he's eating it. Like, you have to really remove yourself from the fight, heal, and then go back, which is effectively going back to a dispenser or going back to a health kit. You have to remove yourself out of the fight in order to heal yourself, whereas like other self-healing mechanics are like boom, bang, done, and you go right back into it. That sucks to fight against. And the Blutsauger, it's a fucking syringe gun. Conch requires you to hit someone and deal damage at the sacrifice of a shotgun. I'm talking self-heal in the form of the fat guy from Overwatch, where he just slams that thing on his face, heals his health, and then it's a passive heal at 4 health per second, max, which is not much. It's a very small benefit that doesn't really, like a small low health, like a low amount of health regen, like on Medic, for example, that does not determine the outcome of a fight. It's only beneficial when he's removed from the fight and can kind of regen and heal himself back up when he's outside of the fight. Self-heal that is really strong within the fight, that doesn't require any additional cost or interaction like the Conch does, where you have to actually deal damage to get that health, that fucking sucks. This is why though, this is probably the worst take I saw on Twitter, other than ones that were not related to TF2 that were things I should not talk about on stream. There's just no problem with health kits. The selfish ideology of "it's fun, who cares" ruins so many aspects of this game. This one's not hot, it's just true. I pulled a couple in here that are just true. This one is just true. So here's the retort, right? Here's the retort to give when someone says "who cares?" Ask them why do they care? Because they clearly do, otherwise they wouldn't have said anything. Whenever someone says "who cares?", this is just their attempt to get you to lower the importance of your own opinion, so they can then more easily force their stance on you. Whenever someone says, "why do you care?" "I don't care, who cares?" Just say "fuck off." That's it, because they clearly do care enough to say something in retort to your opinion, as a retort to your opinion or your stance. They care enough to say something, but clearly aren't prepared to defend whatever it is they dislike about your opinion. Fun is subjective, game balance I'd say is more objective. I would say I agree. Because if you define a set of rules in a game, and those rules are not violated, and it always behaves in a certain way, and you're not making accommodations for people that aren't there to play that game in the first place, that's what makes it fun, right? That is an objective set of rules that are not being bent or warped, or an objective set of behaviors in it that are not being bent nor warped to accommodate people the game was not made for. And whenever that happens, the game loses its identity and becomes something it's not. Becomes something it was not originally made to be, and something that the people who are playing it did not come for. In the latest Squim Jim video, he said about the difficulty of identifying the crits creep with the medigun, that's really a non-issue. At this point, bringing back quick play would be a bad idea. There's a whole new generation of players that started playing after Meet Your Match that don't remember the terrible first days, that don't know the quick play, just fix casuals problems and maybe turn it into quick play 2.0. I love these takes because they say don't bring back quick play, but they also concede in the same line of thought that casual mode sucks and the way to fix it is to make it behave more like quick play. It's my mustard cupcake argument made manifest. Oh, these people are so used to eating mustard cupcakes that if you give them anything else, it's gonna upset them. Which is simply not true. If you give them the better product, they will thank you all the more for it. So yeah, if they just re-implemented quick play's functionality, but left the label of casual mode on top of it, that's all Valve needs to do. You can keep your fancy fucking doors, you can keep your damn map selection, you can keep the same label and everything, but if they just re-implemented the quick play rule set and removed the broken matchmaking system, the game would just be better. That is quick play 2.0 in that it is just quick play, but with the familiar facade and makeup in order to not scare people away. And there are so many takes like this. I've seen so many comments like this under my Meet Your Match video in response to me shitting on casual mode, where they're like, no, bringing back quick play is a bad idea because it's been so long without quick play, you're gonna upset people, right? I despise that logic. This thing has been Thing has been bad for so long that if you make Thing not bad, it'll make people upset. It's like saying you have a fucking knife in your jugular and it's been that way for 8 fucking years, but if you remove it, it's like, oh, they'll be upset that they're not feeling pain anymore because they're used to it. It's like, whoa, no, that's like the better situation. It's a better scenario you want to be in. Not a single fucking soul would miss how casual mode functions because they would be experiencing the better system, right? Because people view it very black and white. They view it as, oh, they're taking away something from me, and not also viewing the other side of the coin, where they're taking away this thing that is broken, but also putting back something that just objectively functions better. And once you experience that, it'll be like, oh wow, this is better, thank you for doing this. Like, the best thing you can say to anyone who denies quick play, right, is tell them, go play on a community server for just an hour. Like, don't play casual mode, just go play on any vanilla community server that you can find and compare the experience, and then have them come back to you and dare them to say the same thing, that casual mode's better. Just because of the fucking basics of casual mode's functionality that make it fucking terrible to play. Like, the only thing that I concede that people would miss is the map selection screen, right? That's the only thing that I feel like you would have to take from casual mode to put it onto quick play 2.0. But then everything else can stay behind. Because the map bloat that we have in TF2 is a completely different problem. Because the map bloat would have also detracted from quick play as well at some point, but it's heavily amplified by how casual mode functions. But no, yeah, then you're exactly right. You could just use the server browser in the server browser. You can just use the server browser to select a specific map that you want, right? Thing is, you can even keep the shitty casual medals, right? You just have to have them level up based on your points or something. It's only based on your playtime anyways. You don't, like, the amount of points you get on your fucking badge are based on the points you get at the end of your rounds. So every time a round ends, your badge can level up. You don't have to have the fucking animations. You don't need to see the bar fill up. You can leave the server, and then your badge goes up, 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 up. Whoa, dopamine! You can still have all of that. You can have all the fucking bells and whistles these kids need to play a game now. You can have your Stin badge still. You don't have to remove that. You can still just make it function like quick play. The way you queue for different game modes while playing, the way how you find servers and join games, yeah, that's the thing casual has over quick play. No, not at all. Again, the only thing that I concede is the map menu. But other than that, you find servers in the exact same way. With casual mode, the game just automatically connects you to them. But then Valve also removed the fact that all Valve servers were in the server browser, and you can connect to any server that way. That was the dumbest fucking thing. That was the biggest downside, is like, okay, what if I want to avoid this shitty matchmaking system, I can just find a server in the browser. They won't even let us do that. Because ad hoc connections are not compatible with a fucking skill-based matchmaking system. Sandman's stun on Moonshot is balanced and punishes bad positioning. I didn't know if this was in reference to the old Sandman or the current Sandman. Either way, I think it's bullshit, because if you just spam this into a corner and someone rounds the corner and they just get unlucky and get hit by it, that's not bad positioning. They're just walking around the corner and then getting hit by the fucking ball. It has nothing to do with bad positioning. If you're standing still, yes. But if you're just like walking around a fucking corner and someone spams the goddamn ball and hits you with it at max range, that's not your fucking fault. You're just walking where you need to go. For those of you that don't know, if the ball on the Sandman travels a long distance and you get moonshot by it, you are stunned for the maximum duration. Whereas before, when the Sandman would actually fully stun you and turn off your ability to shoot, if you were hit at that max range, you also could not move. You were locked in place. You couldn't move and you couldn't shoot, which is bullshit. It's like, there is no defense of the old Sandman, I'm sorry. They did nerf it too hard, but the old Sandman where it stunned you and turned off your ability to shoot, that sucks. You have no way to defend yourself. That is not fun in any situation. Because this one guy is using a different weapon and he smacks you with it. Sorry, you can't shoot in the shooter game anymore. That blows. That fucking sucks. Like, thank God they got rid of that. But then the removal of the Sandman Cleaver combo on top of that was not the right way to go. Because they could have kept the combo, but removed the bullshit stun. You could still, like, mark a player and say, hey, this player is marked and can therefore be crit by the fucking cleaver, but they're still allowed to defend themselves and not just stand still because they got stunned fully, or walking around at heavy speed while also not being able to shoot. The boomer player base heavily outweighs the younger player base. This was the person I wanted to disprove on that poll I took on my main channel, and also the poll I took here, where, what was it, 80% of the player base is made up of people that are under the age of 27? Like, I'll do the poll again right now. Yeah, I mean, just look at the results now based on the votes we have. Yeah, 8%, 9%, which is already skewed based on my main channel poll. I'll pull that up real quick. 6% of the player base is over the age of 28. And that is a poll with 15,000 votes. That's a pretty good sample size, and my channel heavily appeals to older people. To people who've been playing the game for long periods of time. So to say that the player base is primarily boomers is just not true. It's mostly people in their early 20s. You can see right here, 63% of the people watching me right now are aged 18 to 25. So, are 18-year-olds boomers now? That is something that does make me upset. This is something that makes me upset. Like, I'll read some of the comments that I got on this fucking poll to you guys, where I'm just reading it and I'm crying and dying inside, man. Let me read you a few of these. Oh, hey, what year were you born? Oh, 19 crumbles to dust, because we're fucking old now. There's a guy who's saying I'm 22 and I'm old. No, you're not old. Stop it. You're not old. I hate that shit. You are not allowed to say you're old when you're fucking 19 or 20 years old. Enough. I hate that shit. I was actually having this conversation with somebody earlier. I was having the same conversation where not even 20 years ago, right? Not even 20 years ago in 2005. The amount of information and the amount of personal interactions you have were mostly contained to what you would experience in a day, in person, right? How many people would you interact with, or how many interactions involving any form of communication would you have on any given day, 2005 or before? Your brain, I would feel, is gonna age a lot faster and you're gonna not necessarily mature, but you're gonna have a feeling that you're older, because as more and more people live here and online, the volume of interactions they have, the volume of communication they have with other people, rapidly accelerated to the point where it's like they feel older because they've been having more interactions with people. So by the time you turn 25, the number of just general experiences that you've had communicating with other people probably met, if outnumbered, the same amount of interpersonal interactions you would have had in 1990 as a 50-year-old. And then even more than that as an 80-year-old in like 1960. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Like, the volume of interactions you've had is exponentially increased so much that by the time you're 25, the number of interactions you've had would likely have been the same as an 80-year-old in 1960. And so that's why mentally, we feel older even though we're like, you're fucking 20 years old. I think the reason why young people feel old when they're not is because all famous Hollywood stars, etc., are really young and their audiences are full of kids. I don't think anyone in Hollywood is young. I feel like any relevant actor or actress is not that young. Let me rephrase for the guy over here, the boomer player base, i.e. TF2 players pre-2017, heavily outweighs the younger player base. It's a 50-50 split. Like, if you use Jungle Inferno as your cutoff, like, I mean, this is something else too. So this was another poll that I took on my channel, where I took a poll of how many people started playing TF2 before Meet Your Match, and how many people started playing after Meet Your Match, July 7th, 2016. It was a clean 50-50 split. And remember, my channel already appeals to old heads, primarily. People who started playing TF2 a long time ago. And that was a 50-50 split, so at minimum, half the player base started playing after Jungle Inferno, and after Meet Your Match, and is absolutely not a boomer, like, by that definition. The majority of the players playing TF2 absolutely would not be considered a boomer based on that scale. Why do I assume I appeal to older players? Not only my age and how I carry myself, but also the ideas that I present that seem to resonate more so with people who've been playing the game for a long time, either since launch or since the early days, which also makes up a lot of young people as well. But typically the people that I meet, for example, just in general, either in my Discord or people that reach out to me, tend to be older or more mature people. Whereas if I go into any other TF2-centered Discord, it almost always feels like I'm walking into a room full of children, based on how they speak and interact with each other. I don't know how old they are, but they certainly present themselves as childish, or they don't know how to speak or type. They feel and act very young. Whereas, like, in my Discord, this isn't like throwing shade at anybody, this is just my experience, where if I go into my Discord, or if someone reaches out to me via DM or something, they act mature or older. And it's just something I've experienced. And I think it has to do with not only how I carry myself, but also the type of content that I make. Like, seriously, go look inside of any TF2 Discord, and you're like, even like the general Reddit TF2 Discord, it feels like it's full of kids with how they're talking and interacting with each other. It's very strange. Or maybe it's not strange, I suppose that's the expectation for a video game social space online. It's gonna be mostly younger people. The maturity difference between that space and, say, my space is it's a significant gap. Like, I'm not like stroking my Discord or people in there like, I only appeal to mature, smart people. I'm just saying the people that I interact with normally don't act like toddlers. Natasha is fine as is. Those who complain only have skill issue. Objectively, Natasha is not fine in that the slowdown effect is broken, so this is an actually take from me. This is an actually. It's not fine, it is broken. The slowdown effect fucking doesn't work if you hit strafe. Fucker. You're wrong. Though I do agree the mechanic is bullshit. I've never liked the slowdown mechanic because it brings the person being shot down to the skill level of the player instead of rewarding the person who is doing the shooting with something else and not punishing the player being hit. I've never liked that mechanic for that reason. Like, reward the heavy somehow without doubly punishing the player who got hit by not only making them take damage but also slowing them down. I don't know what a good rework would be for the Natasha. I've yet to like sit down and like think of a full list of rebalances that I would go through and present in a video, but I have some. I have like half a script written. I have Scout and Soldier done for all the reworks that I would do, but I wanted to do it in one video, but it's also just a lot. Like, if I sit down and talk about every single thing that I would want to rebalance, it would be like another 3-hour video, and I really don't want to do that. And that's keeping things short. Fuck. Because I feel like I have to give some level of justification to the balance ideas I present. If I don't do that, then people are gonna go, why the fuck do you do that? So I have to give at least some context to my decisions. And when I do that, it's like 5 minutes per weapon. It's so much shit. It's like, okay, yeah, I can split this across multiple videos, but then it's even more work, and I don't want to fucking do that. It's just, yeah. Your changes would be horrible. I don't think removing the 33% cloak drain on the Your Eternal Reward is a horrible idea. Right away, your claim is wrong. Rebuff the Bison. Buff the Caber. Demo Man is as fundamentally flawed as Sniper. From a design standpoint, most classes in the game do not have a reasonable level of counterplay against sticky traps or grenade spam into a choke point. Just walk at the demo and shoot him. If you get too close to him, he will die. Demo Man is very easy to counter with anything that's hit scan, or soldier, or another Demo Man. Like, Demo Man is not invulnerable to damage. He's slow, he's easy to hit, it's just, if he's got a medic in his ass, I could understand it, but like, he has easily a much higher amount of counterplay than your usual sniper interaction. And if you don't see the sticky trap, that's kind of your fault for not looking before you walked in. Dido's sticky trap once, shame on you. Dido it twice, shame on me, because you didn't check again. 3 times, you just suck. Demo Man even says, didn't you see the bloody bombs? The panic attack is one of the most obnoxious weapons in the game, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. How? Seriously, I want an explanation from this guy as to how the fucking panic attack of all guns is obnoxious. Seriously. What does this even mean? It's just a worse shotgun most of the time. How is it obnoxious? Like, it's better than stock when you're using the degreaser on Pyro. That's a good combo. It's a reasonably good shotgun on Engineer because you're getting close to somebody who do 102 per shot. But if you don't want to have to deal with the widening spread per shot, you have to delay your shots, which lowers your DPS, and if you're at anything other, like if you're further than like close-ish medium ranges, you're always doing less damage than stock. How is it obnoxious? Like, I think the gun is fine. I think it's good. The faster switch speed and the high burst damage when you're huffing someone's farts is really nice. I love mauling heavies with this thing, or anyone else that gets too close. It's the exact opposite of obnoxious. I don't understand. This one confuses me. It scares me even. I don't know why this was typed. What were they on? I want to have what they were smoking or injecting or drinking, or all of it at one time. Hello? I don't know what else needs to be said. I'm just gonna move on. Pastime was a mistake and still is. Yes. Should have never been put in the game. Same for Manpower. Should have never been put in the game. Pastime was the brainchild of, what was it, Bad Robot? A third-party developer that Valve let make a new game mode, and then they slapped it into the game as like this cool new thing. Like it's like, you don't want to play TF2 anymore. You want to play fucking weird soccer. It's like taking a community server game mode like versus Saxon Hale and then throwing in the game, and then it just fucking died. It's like, yeah, I want basketball, soccer, rugby, but in TF2. Good idea. No one fucking plays it. The only time people play it is when they play it competitively, I guess, in like 4v4. And then you had Manpower, which is the shitty brainchild of like one guy at Valve that wanted to have power-ups in TF2, and that plays even worse. It's even worse. Who has like unironically tried playing Manpower ever? Like, when it first came out, I played it once, and then I never touched it again because it fucking sucked. Like, the existence of these things are fine. It's okay, but they should have never been official additions into the game. Like, that's taking the gameplay way too far from what it's supposed to be. And then you have all this wild custom balancing that's needed for something like Manpower in order for it to work, kind of. It's so messy. It's just a messy game mode that just no one cared about. And it just is left to die. And like, if you have fun playing them, that's fine. I'm not gonna knock you for it. Go and enjoy these things, but they should have never been put into the base game. Terrible ideas on Valve's part. They were fun novelties for a very short period of time, but once people realized, like, yeah, this really isn't the vanilla game that I come for, they fucked off back to the rest of the game. I bet the 4v4 Pastime Discords have more matches than actual Valve Pastime servers. Someone told me that the instant they joined that Pastime Discord, they were begging them to play a game with them because they're in such desperate need of players. So, I think they're equally as dead. If they can't populate a server of 8, that really shows how few people care about pastime. Payload is extremely overrated and overplayed. The real best game mode is King of the Hill, due to it allowing all classes to have an input in a nice back and forth gameplay loop that Payload lacks and 5CP has, but it's nowhere near as prone to stalemates. I don't think it's overrated. It's overplayed, which therefore then makes it feel overrated, and the only reason why it's overplayed inside of casual mode is because that's the only game mode that you're allowed to play for more than 5 minutes, simply by nature of the matchmaking system not setting up balanced games and having all of them end in less than 5 minutes unless the game mode is being staggered by the pace of the payload card, which allows for the game to last for at least more than 5 minutes, so it feels like you're actually playing the game. And then to that effect, is there something wrong with Attack Defend? Gravel Pit? Gorge, anybody? I think this take is terrible. Like, I don't think Payload is overrated. Payload is very fun. The problem is that it's overplayed and people are burnt out on it because, at least in casual mode, also Uncletopia, because Uncletopia, for whatever reason, used to run the casual rule set where it was only a best of 3 or a single round limit. I don't know if they still do that because I haven't played on there in years. Not years, but a while. But that's why Payload is so popular and why people vote for it, because in any other game mode, you're playing for mere minutes if the team is unbalanced. We've also received too many Payload maps in recent years. Valve just decided to add like 9 a year. Maps are basically hats, we can throw them in as willy-nilly as cosmetics, so fuck it. That's also a problem, is we have an oversaturation. I think out of all game modes, Payload has the most. Okay, Attack Defend has 18, CTF 11, Control Point 19, King of the Hill 19, Payload 22. Yep, Payload has the most. Most people who advocate for the return of quick play don't really want it. They just want the features of it that could and should be added into casual, which itself is an easier and more convenient way of finding games. I mean, stuff like the map timer, team scramble, etc. Here we go with another take, which concedes that, like, oh yeah, casual mode's bad, and then the way to make it better is by making it function like quick play. It's always the same fucking take every time. Like, no, you don't want quick play. You just want casual mode to function like quick play. So, we want quick play. Hello? It's every fucking time. It's consistent. Every fucking time. Yeah, people don't want quick play. They just want everything quick play has to offer. And the removal of the fucking matchmaking system. Yeah, there you go. Random damage spread is fine, dare I say good. It's an important balancing factor which helps keep people alive longer and gives noobs a better chance to get kills in an environment of sweats. No. Because this fucks over skilled players too, far more consistently than, say, a random crit does. Like, if I'm shooting a pipe, I expect that shit to do 100 damage. I don't want to get fucked over because the game decides that my shot is only gonna do 99, and then I die. Like, random damage spread was turned off because it was fucking AIDS, and it sucked. If you're doing 9 damage with a shotgun at close range, that is entirely your fault. Damage spread was, I forget if it was 10% or 20% variance up or down. I think it wasn't that high. I think it was 7%? I think it was 7%. I think that's the number that sticks out in my mind. I might be wrong. Let me do a quick Google search. 15%. There it is. Okay, yeah. So it was 15%, not 7%. Okay, yeah. So 15% was the value. There you go. Okay. Which is a lot. That meant your pipe could do 85 or 115. Oh my god. Yeah, that was good. It was turned off. Actually, no, that's not true, because I think it was different for different weapons, wasn't it? Because I never remember my pipes doing 115. I think it was smaller for certain weapons and then 15% for others. I can't remember. It was so long ago. Shit. And when it was happening, I never really paid that much attention, so I can't remember. All I remember is that it was bullshit when I'm like, shit, that shot did 97 damage instead of 100. Fuck, I'm dead. The crossbow should have the passive reload removed. It's another strength over the unlocks that makes it objectively better than it really doesn't need, but also removing the passive reload makes choosing when to use a healing bolt more interesting, a thoughtful choice. Nah, just buff the other syringe guns so they also have passive reload. Like, I don't think we need to nerf anything, just buff the other syringe guns. If all syringe guns had passive reload, that would be fantastic. And then that would just buff the other weapons that people don't use. Like, because even without passive reload, people would still only use the crossbow. I like the syringe guns. I think they're fun. But if you want to use the most viable option, you're always using the crossbow, because no matter what you hit, you're doing something. You're dealing damage or healing somebody. You can deal up to 75 damage with a projectile. That's really easy to hit and really easy to spam. It should not do that much damage. I still say bring it down to 50. Seriously, it shouldn't, like, don't change the healing, but drop the damage a little bit. That's just too much. You should not be able to spam across the map and take out half the health of a light class as fucking medic. Really? No, too much. Other than that, let all the other syringe guns have passive reload. That's awesome. We'll leave it at that. Or 55, not 50. 55 is fine too. Sure, that's okay. Just not 75. The sticky jumper is actually overpowered with being able to put 2 stickies down. Flying across the map is an insane ability, and it should be nerfed to have only 1 active sticky. This would make people learn the mid-air sticky jumps more and increase player skill. Oh god. Yeah, no, I don't think that's, like, mid-air sticky jumping is really hard to do consistently, and you have to sacrifice your primary damage dealer and take all of the fall damage when you come back down, so you lose half your health when you do this. They shouldn't have nerfed it in the first place. Just bring back all 8 stickies. That made it fun. Because you're still removing your primary damage dealer and losing half your health on your way back down. And it only mattered on maps like Upward and Badwater where they could traverse crazy distances in one jump. But on other maps that didn't have these really super long, ridiculous sightlines, it wasn't a fucking problem. That was a map issue, not a weapon issue. Why should rocket jumping be a skillful ability to learn if sticky jumping is pretty much the Farah jetpack button? That's also just not true. If you don't know how to blast jump, you're not gonna know how to sticky jump. I just think it'd be cooler if mid-air sticky jumps became more required to get that insane mobility. I mean, they are required to get that insane mobility if you want more consistent mobility instead of one largely uncontrollable jump, but it's just not a, this is a horrible take. No, you do not nerf the sticky jumper. There's also a reason why people don't fucking use this thing. It's not the sticky bomb launcher. Like, if this was seriously a massive issue that people could exploit and cause mayhem with, more people would be doing this more often, and they just don't. Because literally any other option is more effective and better. It used to be 8. Yes, put it back. Put it back to 8. That was way more fucking fun. And it still had all the same goddamn downsides. They don't do damage. And you take fall damage. And you're far away from your fucking team, so what are you gonna do? Kill the fucking teleporter at their spawn? And then get railed by whoever comes out of there? You're gonna fucking die! At best, you're gonna be a nuisance to people behind your enemy line, but you're not doing anything, you're not fucking contributing. If people aren't chasing you, you're useless. The game modes with symmetrical maps, King of the Hill, Control Point, CTF, play a lot worse. So here we have the opposite of the payload take. They have less varied matches, are more prone to boring repetition. Payload and attack defend, despite their flaws, are better because they provide more room for player skill expression and decision making. I think that applies to all game modes, regardless if the map is symmetrical or not. Isn't it interesting that in the same thread we had people with the exact opposite takes? One that thinks payload has this problem, and one that thinks other game modes have this problem? I think, listen, every game mode gets stale if you play it too much. That's just my experience. If you do nothing but King of the Hill, nothing but capture the flag, nothing but payload, it's gonna get stale. It's gonna get stale fast. Variety is the spice of life. I think in the context of a competitive setting, I get the idea. Competitive is already super repetitious as it is, simply by nature of hard metas. That's a meta issue and not a map issue. Certain weapons are better when they're bad. Wrong. For example, a good bison wouldn't be nearly as fun as the current bison. The near impossibility of getting a kill is most of the fun with it. I understand a self-imposed challenge, but there's a reason why people don't use bad weapons, is because they're not fun when they don't get kills. They suck. Like, I just think this take is fucking terrible. Like, if you're a masochist, sure. Yeah, if you like the novelty of a self-imposed challenge of getting a kill with bad weapons, sure. But, they just suck to use, because they're not fun items anymore. Traders are part of the whole problem in the TF2 status quo, and we should stop giving them a reason to spend money on the game. By trading and buying items around, they will keep making profit at our expense, and they'll keep having a reason to give Valve more money. I would say this is part of the problem for TF2's current situation, where people are more than happy to keep spending shitloads of money on the game, and Valve uses community-made content shipped in loot boxes to prop up the game's microeconomy, to make it seem as though the game is still alive and therefore prop up the economies of this Counter-Strike and Dota scenes too. Because if TF2 goes under, I said this a million times, Counter-Strike and Dota goes under, so Valve has to keep TF2 looking fine and healthy, and they do that by cramming in a bunch of garbage into loot boxes, and the trader mains profit off of that. Oddly enough, mostly amongst themselves, because I can't even recall the last time I saw someone using a brand new unusual, or using a brand new cosmetic. Very, very rarely do I see people seeking out new unusuals or new hats. I would say they're definitely part of the whole problem in the TF2 status quo, in that they're continuing to give Valve reasons to pumping money into the game. Like, they're feeding into Valve's reason for keeping the game alive. It's to keep the economy alive, to make things look hunky-dory and fine. The trader mains go, Valve might actually have to do something to get their actual players interested. Man, almost like that's kind of happening with Counter-Strike right now, where they keep adding more gambling instead of addressing the game's problems, but because the gambling is so popular and is making them a lot of money, they don't really have to do much else. Funny how Counter-Strike's now falling into that same fucking problem. That's almost 3 hours of recording, by the way, so that's a good place to stop. I'm tired now. That's a good place to stop. I'm tired now. I've been talking too long. Give my own hot take. Okay, what hot take can I give right now to close out? God, I don't know. Yeah, that may be hot. I don't know, man. Why is everyone pregnant in this chat? Hey, let this guy know. Let this guy know why everyone is pregnant in this chat. Let this guy know. He's new here. Let's welcome him. Let's welcome him in this chat right now. Welcome to the new guy that has no idea what's going on. There you go. Now you understand. Welcome. We welcome you into the fold. We welcome you into the chuddling fold. And our call sign is the pregnant man. Our call sign is the pregnant fucking man. I don't know. I have no hot takes right now. I got nothing. I feel like I have dispensed any potentially hot takes over the last 4 years, which ended up not being that hot of takes. It's just, you know, people don't like the manner in which I convey my ideas. They want me to convey them in a very neutered and neutral manner so I don't come off as angry. And if you're angry, you make people upset, and it makes people as divisive. You could have just been nicer when you said it. I have mellowed, truth be told. Like, go look at a stream I did in, I don't know, 2020 and compared to now. A lot happens in 5 years. I think Koth Probed sucked. I have to ban you now.